We talk a lot about childhood trauma now, and honestly, that's a good thing. For a long time, people were told to just get over it, to respect their parents, to stop being dramatic, to be grateful they had a roof, food, clothes, school. As if emotional pain was only valid if the walls were literally on fire. So yes, it matters that we finally have words: neglect, parentification, emotional invalidation, attachment wounds, trauma responses. Those words can save people. They can make someone look at their life and think, oh, so I wasn't crazy. I was adapting. But I think there's a question we don't ask enough. What happens when healing turns into a trial? What happens when we grow up, look back at our childhood, and suddenly our parents become defendants, and our memories become evidence, and every mistake they made becomes proof of who they were, not what they did. Who they were: the villain, the narcissist, the absent father, the cold mother, the selfish parent, the person who ruined us. And listen, sometimes the wound is real. Sometimes the damage is deep. Sometimes distance is necessary. Sometimes no contact is not cruelty. It is survival. But there is also something uncomfortable we need to admit. Memory is not neutral. Memory is emotional. The human brain does not record childhood like a security camera. It records it like a nervous system. And the nervous system remembers danger first. It remembers shame, fear, rejection, confusion, loneliness, the moments where love felt conditional, the moments where silence felt unsafe, the moments where we learned, don't need too much, don't cry too loud, don't be a burden, don't ask for what no one knows how to give. That doesn't mean we are lying. It means we are human, but it also means we should be careful, because pain can become a lens. And once pain becomes the lens, everything starts to match it. A tired parent becomes a neglectful parent. A stressed parent becomes a cruel parent. A clumsy sentence becomes emotional abuse. A flawed human becomes a monster. And suddenly, we are not healing anymore. We are building a case. Now, I'm not saying parents should get a free pass. I did my best is not an apology. I had trauma too does not erase the child's pain. And that's how things were back then, is not a magic spell that makes damage disappear. But maybe there is a middle place. A place where we can say, my pain was real. And also, my parents were people. Not just parents. People. People with childhoods before ours. People with fear, shame, money problems, bad marriages, untreated depression, untreated ADHD, addictions, grief, loneliness, old wounds they never named, old rules they never questioned. Some of our parents were not trying to hurt us. They were trying to survive, badly, and as children we paid for that. Both things can be true. That is the part we don't like, because the mind wants clean stories. Good person, bad person, victim, villain, innocent, guilty. But families are rarely that clean. A mother can love you and still fail to see you. A father can provide for you and still emotionally abandon you. A parent can sacrifice for you and still make you feel like a burden. Someone can be wounded and still wound you. Someone can have done their best, and their best can still not have been enough. That sentence is painful, but it is honest. And maybe adulthood is the moment where we stop asking, were my parents good or bad? And start asking, what happened? What did I need? What did they not know how to give? What patterns did I inherit? And what do I want to stop carrying? Because resentment can be useful at first. Anger can wake you up. Anger can say, no, that was not okay. Anger can pull you out of denial. But anger is a doorway. It is not a home. If we live there forever, healing becomes another cage. And sometimes, without realizing it, we become what hurt us. We become rigid. We become unforgiving. We reduce people to their worst moments. We stop seeing complexity. We demand empathy while refusing to offer any. And I think that's where healing goes wrong. Healing should not make us better prosecutors. It should make us more honest witnesses. An honest witness says, this hurt me. This shaped me. This was unfair, but also, this person was more than the harm they caused. That doesn't mean reconciliation. That doesn't mean forgiveness. That doesn't mean letting unsafe people back into your life. Sometimes love needs distance. Sometimes peace requires a locked door. But even from behind that door, we can choose truth over simplification. We can stop pretending our parents were gods who failed us, and stop pretending they were monsters who existed only to hurt us. They were people, and we were children. They had context, and we had consequences. They had wounds, and we had needs. Their suffering explains some things. It excuses nothing by itself. Our pain matters, but so does our humility. Because one day, many of us will also be remembered through someone else's nervous system, our children, our partners, our friends. They may remember the day we snapped, the silence we didn't explain, the promise we forgot, the moment we were too tired to show up well. And we will hope they remember the whole human, not only the wound. So maybe the goal is not to erase resentment. Maybe the goal is to mature it, to turn "you ruined me" into "you shaped parts of me I now have to heal," to turn "you never loved me" into "you loved me with tools that were broken," to turn "I owe you nothing" into "I owe myself honesty." And maybe that is where real freedom begins. Not in denying the trauma, not in worshiping it, not in putting our parents on trial forever, but in finally being able to say, "I was hurt. I understand more now, and I still get to choose what I become." Because healing is not proving who was guilty. Healing is learning what is true, and then deciding that the story does not end there.